Welcome. Today we're going to do a short practice that has us rest our attention on the breath with the occasional reminder to return to the breath so that we might emerge from our practice time together a little bit more relaxed, a little calmer, a little steadier, attention a little bit more focused, a little bit more stable, a little bit less distracted and distractible as we move into the rest of our day. And also with a reminder from the practice itself that even a few minutes or a few moments of steadying attention around an object like the breath can be helpful for reestablishing some of those qualities. Before we do, I want to take a few moments and share with you some insights around something that we all are grappling with in various ways quite often, much more than we might imagine, which is, should I do this or should I do that? These interests that we have that can move in different directions. Stay in bed or sleep a little longer. Eat that extra sweet or stop now. Respond to that email that was agitating, to which I have this very assertive response, or wait and reflect before sending it. The numbers of these little conflicts, which I call me-gotiations, they're like negotiations we have with ourselves, really are quite numerous. Oftentimes we're not even aware of them. One takes hold and has a little bit more power, a little bit more momentum, a little bit more history behind it, and we just move in that direction. Now, there's much more to say about this, but what I want to bring to bear in this time that we have together is that often we can think, well, if I were to be more mindful, if I were to be more present, I would do the better one. I would not have that sweet. I'd wait before responding. I'd get out of bed when I plan to get out of bed. And maybe those are in alignment. But in fact, the mindfulness practice is not so much about doing the one versus the other as if one were the devil and one were the angel and they were duking it out and we just don't have the willpower to do that which is the more nobler thing. It's much more complicated than that. And to even have that perspective is to have another sort of interest at play, which is judging which one of these is better. And that it becomes even more complicated. Now we're really battling, we're taking sides with ourselves and building up our armies to do battle. And we do this often. And we may know this, where we're beating ourselves up, trying to make decisions or regretting decisions we've made, etc. And so the insight I wish to share with you and then to connect it to the practice that we're doing and to many mindfulness practices, that it's not like this is the mindful response and this is the mindless response. And if we practice mindfulness, we'll be able to do the mindful response. It's that mindfulness, being aware, being more present, being less caught by our conditioning, frees us to be a little bit less confused so that we're able to see things more clearly. This is why when we do a practice like we're going to do in just 1 or 2 minutes, we rest attention on the breath with the intention to stay on the breath. Okay, there's an interest, right? I want to stay on the breath. And then a few moments later, the mind begins to wander. And it's like there's another part of us that's like, I want to wander, whether we know it or not. Or we decide to say, I want to get up and end this practice because it doesn't feel relaxing or I've got too much to do. So there's, say, 2 interests, staying with the practice, getting up and doing something else. It's not unlike staying in bed or getting up and getting out of bed or however you want to look at that. Now, one might say, well, the mindful thing to do would be to stay with the practice. But no. That's another interest we have. There's the me that wants to stay with the practice, and there's the me that wants to get up, or there's the me that's staying with the practice and wants to feel calm or is feeling a little calm, and there's the me that's feeling anxious. And so the mindfulness aspect, the awareness aspect, is the witnessing, observant quality we bring to, oh, look at me, I'm struggling. I want to stay. I want to go, right? I want to stay. I want to go. And there's a lot of compassion there. There's even a little humor there. But importantly, for this sharing with you of this insight, It's not like this is mindful and this is not. So, in a moment, we're going to lower or close our eyes and we're going to practice. And we're cultivating that observant, witnessing, present aspect of our awareness, of being able to hold all of these competing and conflicting perspectives that are all us, all part of this seemingly eternal set of negotiations, and with clarity. And clarity also means being able to be aware of the fact that, oh, I'm feeling this impulse, and I'm aware that I'm having this impulse. I'm feeling this agitation, and I'm aware of this agitation. And I'm aware part of me wants to make a beeline out of here, and part of me wants to stay. And I'm interested in the negotiation. And the mindfulness practice says, observe the negotiation. But once we forget and we think that one is the mindful thing and one is the not mindful thing, well, then it becomes something very different. Then we're lost in confusion once again. So let us practice now, attending, observing, noticing, like we're outside the ring, watching it play out. But everyone's got these big gloves on because it's a soft, kind practice, even though we might really be putting a lot of energy into these different interests that we have. So we bring ourselves into a posture that's upright and stable. As we lower or close our eyes, whichever you prefer, resting attention on the sensations of the body sitting. As we breathe. Aware of where our bottom makes contact with the cushion, the seat beneath us. Of where our back may meet the back of the chair behind us. Aware of our hands resting one in the other or on our lap, or by our side. And we feel the sensations in the body around our hands and fingers. This is one of the interests that we have in this practice, to be here and to pay attention, to notice. As we breathe. You may notice from time to time other interests, an interest to think about something other than noticing the sensations of the hands. And you notice that too. Aware of the feet making contact with the ground. That is, attending to the sensations of where your feet meet the ground or your socks or shoes. There's something very compelling about directing attention to an object as rich and grounded as the sensations in a part of the body. And at some level knowing that there's nothing to do, really. Like, let go. Stop trying so hard. If only for these few moments. Just relax into the body. Into the breath. And this breath is an anchor. It's with us all day long, all life long. And so we get to know it a little bit more as we take a few slower, deeper breaths, breathing in and breathing out. slower, deeper, fuller. Breathing in and breathing out. In and out. Our practice time in this sitting is about half over. And so it's a nice time to remind ourselves of our intention. What is your intention for these remaining 3 minutes? To be here, attending as these instructions point, to learn from this experience, to develop skills, training our mind through this practice. It's helpful to remind ourselves of our intention because it's easily forgotten, however true and honorable it is. And as we attend to the sensations of the breath flowing through the body, with the intention to stay attentive to the sensations of the breath, be they at the level of the nose, the nostrils, or the mouth, or the chest expanding and softening, or the belly riding along the wave of the breath. We know that we will also be pulled in other directions. There are other interests at play. There always are. And they're not worse or bad. They're other intentions. And they're our interests and intentions. It's not about picking and choosing and fighting with ourselves, but honoring the extraordinariness of ourselves. And here we are observing, not fighting, not choosing. Because even the intention to sit and stay with the breath is one perspective of many. But it is the one we started with. And there's reason to keep it in mind as we breathe. Aware of the in-breath, aware of the out-breath, and of this body breathing. And when you're ready, lifting the gaze, opening the eyes. Wishing you well.